This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us this Monday. I'm Aja Goare. Our top story today, President Trump is laying out a 70-point immigration plan that could derail the deal made for Dreamers brought to the U.S. illegally as children. The plan was outlined in a letter to Congress on Sunday. CBS's Aja Goare has more.
President Trump sent a letter to Congress outlining what he's looking for in exchange for protecting DACA recipients from deportation. Those are immigrants who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. He told Congress the DACA deal must include full funding for his border wall, a crackdown on sanctuary cities, impose new skills-based legal immigration criteria, and speed up deportation procedures.
For years, this country, including Capitol Hill and the Swamp, they've always asked, what more can we do for the illegal immigrant? What's fair to the illegal immigrant? This president is asking, what's fair to America? What's fair to the American worker? What's fair to the American community?
The president has long taken a hardline stance on immigration, and many of his supporters view DACA as amnesty for illegal immigration. However, the move appears to back off a deal the president struck with Democrats at a White House meeting last month. Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi issued a joint response saying the proposals go far beyond what is reasonable. This proposal fails to represent any attempt at compromise, and they say funding for the wall was explicitly ruled out of negotiations. Democrats say they are willing to work with the White House to strengthen border security, including implementing new technology and hiring more Border Patrol agents. Aja Goare, CBS News, the White House.
Building a wall along the U.S.-Mexican border is projected to cost $25 billion. Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Scott Pruitt announced today plans to withdraw from the Clean Power Plan. The Obama-era rule regulating greenhouse gas emissions requires states to meet specific carbon emission reduction standards based on individual energy consumption. Now, the plan also includes an incentive program for states that prioritize renewable energy and low-income energy efficiency. Pruitt says he plans to sign the repeal tomorrow, adding, quote, "The war against coal is over." The city of Las Vegas marked Sunday the moment 1 week since a gunman opened fire on a crowded music festival, killing 58 people. Parts of the iconic strip went dark overnight for 10 minutes, marking the exact moment when the massacre began. There was also a candlelight vigil held near where the carnage took place. Gatherers chanted, all the power to the people and spread the love. Investigators are still working to determine a motive. Fire crews in Northern California are battling several wildfires in the popular wine country regions of Napa and Sonoma counties. At least 2 hospitals and numerous residents have been evacuated and at least 50 structures destroyed. Meanwhile, thousands of others are threatened. Officials say high winds are complicating the firefighting effort, and fire crews are in, quote, life preservation mode. We turn now to the weather scene with Ed McIntosh, and you've got a weather perspective on those fires.
Absolutely. We started watching the satellite pictures from this early, in fact, overnight, and it grew so quickly. Now, the satellite pictures we have, you're only visible once the sun comes up. So there's some of the earlier scenes. Here's what's happening. If you notice early in the day, it quickly starts to develop and push out across the region, creating quite a bit of smoke. And it was spreading very quickly as we got through the morning hours, and will continue to spread across that area in Napa Valley. At the same time, we're also watching the eastern seaboard, and what's left over from Nate has been continuing to push up some very heavy rain. So where you see those shades starting to fill in, a continuation of that pattern as it came in off the Gulf continues to bring more and more rain to that region. More on our weather coming up.
Thanks, Ed. We'll check back in. The Missoula Fire Department is investigating a blaze that claimed $500,000 worth of tankers. Flames broke out Friday at the Mountain West Co-op storage area on Racer Drive. Crews responded to find 2 tanker trucks completely engulfed in flames and 2 semi-tractors also totally destroyed. The tankers are used to haul diesel and gasoline, but were fortunately empty at the time of the fire. The investigation is ongoing. Conrad police are investigating the death of a Pend Oreille County woman on Thursday night. The Division of Criminal Investigation also brought in to investigate the death of the woman who was an employee of the Pend Oreille Medical Center. Her cause of death has not been released. The Pend Oreille County Attorney's Office tells us, though, one person was arrested on Thursday night for an assault that occurred earlier in the week. The sources tell MTN News the 2 incidents are related, but no further details were released. The woman's name also not released. Montana's political leaders met in Missoula Sunday to kick off the second Montana High-Tech Job Summit, which is bringing in tech leaders from across the country. Senator Steve Daines spoke about the benefits of bringing more tech jobs to the Big Sky State.
We talked about how do we take these learnings from these companies and apply them right here in Montana. We have a lot of Montanans sharing ideas with one another. We want to take these ideas and translate into action. And the action is creating more good-paying technology jobs that pay twice the state average.
Representatives of both public and private companies are meeting throughout today. Senator Daines, Interim President Sheila Stearns, and President and CEO of the Montana Chamber of Commerce, Webb Brown, all spoke at that reception. Representative Greg Gianforte was also in attendance and stressed the importance of this expanding opportunity in Montana. The suspect in a series of car break-ins across Big Sky has been apprehended, but he's not what you'd expect. The Gallatin County Sheriff's Office reports a black bear weighing around 250 pounds has been breaking into vehicles and homes. The bear recently broke into 6 vehicles. While authorities at Big Sky are used to this kind of activity, deputies say they've never seen anything quite like this. Now here are some tips to keep those bears from breaking in.
First and foremost, don't store food in the car. Obviously, bears can still break into cars afterwards. Even if there's food in the car with it locked, bears can still break the window. I would just advocate that people remove all foods, any sort of temptation from the vehicle. That way, bears have no reason to actually go into the car. This one is, for me, has at least been the worst. I've been up here for at least 3 years, so this is by far the worst.
Fish, Wildlife and Parks was able to locate and capture the bear. That bear's fate has not been decided, but FWP says it will make that decision today. Still to come on the noon news, a big-time Hollywood film studio exec fired amid sexual harassment allegations. Details when we come back. First, that has our weather forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching